What's up, everyone? I'm Nick Cato.
I'm Walter Boley.
I'm Matt Harnig.
This is the Live Through Games Next Level Podcast, the inaugural Next Level Podcast. This is going to be going up every Monday night around 9-ish on our YouTube channel at Live Through Games. Follow us on Twitter at Live Through Games. And, of course, go on the blog at livethroughgames.blogspot.com. So, we always start out the blog with the next level news. Just thought of that myself. So, it's the news of the day / previous week that I thought was important. So, to start out, former BioWare developer Casey Hudson tweets photo of Oculus Rift with the caption, "It begins." He previously left BioWare to take on a new set of challenges. Oculus responded by saying that they had no comment on his tweet. You guys interested in this? You guys think it's crazy?
I don't know. I mean, the Oculus Rift, I'm definitely interested in seeing what it's going to do. I'm all for the virtual reality type stuff, and it's almost a shame I probably won't be around when that actually really hits huge.
I think what this says, obviously, is that Mass Effect 4 is going to be Oculus Rift exclusive.
No, he doesn't work for BioWare
I think that this
anymore.
is just the only thing that can come of it.
He doesn't work for BioWare anymore.
That doesn't mean anything.
Former BioWare.
That doesn't mean anything.
Sort of
It's
does.
just a ruse.
It's a ruse.
But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's no comment. Okay.
That means them saying no comment means, yeah, he's developing something with Oculus technology. That's my take on it.
Maybe he'll make the first game for it.
There's already
Well,
a few.
there's a couple of games that have adapted it to Oculus Rift, like Alien Isolation adapted it to Oculus Rift.
They even have it out. It's not even out yet, though, right?
Yeah, there's.
Oculus Rift is out?
Oh no, there's like beta, testing
Oh, wow.
things going out for it.
Yeah, I saw a video of a guy you playing Alien Isolation on it.
Sounds like something that will probably spark the survival horror.
You want to shat yourself?
Yeah, I do. Playing Slenderman with Oculus Rift
I'll take a pass. I just won't turn around.
or Outlast.
Ugh, forget that. But, number 2, 343 Industries is making a documentary about remaking Halo 2 because it is such a huge landmark game, and that's basically why everyone wants this Master Chief Collection. I think it's big because I remember I got the Halo 2 limited edition thing that came in like the silver box and had a second disc of content, and I watched the documentary they had, and it was awesome. So I can't wait for this.
I mean,
Halo 2.
yeah, it's something the fans want, so it's something the fans are going to get. But these things don't interest me, I guess. I don't really care about the documentaries about the makings of. It's not my thing.
I'm curious about it. It's always fun.
Depends on what it is and what it is.
The only documentary I want to see is called The Death of Superman Lives. Have you heard of it?
Oh, the Nick Cage Superman movie.
The scrapped Nicolas Cage Superman movie. It's the making of that movie.
So it's not really going to be that long of a documentary?
No, it's going to be a great documentary. Because they have footage of Nicolas Cage in the Superman suit doing his thing.
It's terrible. Nicolas Cage. I'm sure I could get you on this podcast just throwing you like $5. You'll do it.
Guy, you act like the guy doesn't have millions.
Yeah,
You
but
say what he wants about his
he'll do it.
roles, but he's got millions. He's got bank.
You'll do it. Number 3. Ubisoft Toronto founder Jade Raymond is leaving the company at the end of the month. During her 10 years at Ubisoft Toronto, she produced Assassin's Creed 1 and executively produced Assassin's Creed 2, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and Watch Dogs. Is that possibly big? You think they can survive it?
I mean, they made the other Assassin's Creed without her, and they're just going to jack all her ideas anyways, so...
I don't think you could, it's really hard to pick out in the video game industry one guy that's responsible for the greatness of any one game. And like a lot of guys will get credit for it, like Cliff Basinski for Gears of War
I can
and all
name
that.
one.
But Cliff Basinski sure had a major part
He's
in
the
Gears of War.
face.
Yeah, but you can't sit here and give him all the credit.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Who's that?
creator of Mario and like basically every single Nintendo
Yeah,
main
but,
franchise.
but did he single-handedly create every single game, or did he come up with the characters?
No, but I'm just saying that.
So
like,
the character of Mario could have been a shit game.
There's always a face.
Yeah,
There's
but
always
yeah,
a face.
Mario could have been a shit game if not for the talented designers working on the game.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that one person leading a company means.
Especially nowadays.
I don't
Yeah.
know. For the Assassin's Creed games, I mean, Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 were, in my opinion, the better ones. I haven't played a lot
Assassin's
of them
Creed
recently,
2.
but
Assassin's Creed 2 was really
that was the best one.
Yeah. Every other game has just been kind of a slight improvement on Assassin's Creed 2, but from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2 was like the biggest jump in quality.
Yeah. Number 4. Bungie is working on gameplay balances for Destiny. An example is giving a 2% debuff to auto rifles and a 6% buff to scout rifles. Exotics will also go from being overpowered to balance. Bungie stated, quote, "There should be no one single answer for how to win in Destiny." I've been playing Destiny Online a little bit. It's about time, because basically if you don't use a scout rifle, you're done. Or an auto rifle, you're screwed. So, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
this
true.
is just how games evolve, man. Like every game, very few games release with no balancing problems if they're multiplayer games.
Yeah, you're never gonna please everyone.
Yeah. What was it? In Modern Warfare 2, it was assault rifles for Call of Duty, and then in the newest one, maybe not Ghost, Black Ops 2, it was submachine guns.
It's this one. That was my favorite Call of Duty gun ever.
MSMC?
It was. That's
Yeah.
the one.
And I didn't use it, but I knew I was at a disadvantage the second I didn't use it.
Diamond camo for it.
Oh my god. Talk to me when you have gold executioners, Nick.
I never will. 'Cause that's why you were disadvantaged all the time. You used the freaking execution.
Disadvantage, I had a 1.0 KD with my executioners. For those that don't remember, executioners were a sidearm available in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It looked like a revolver until you realized it shot shotgun shells that had the reach of a midget. It usually took more than 2 shots to kill a person with a 5-round clip, and it was awful. It's one of the worst guns I've ever used in video game history. And that's why I use it.
God. And the final thing of news, which excites me, HBO Go is reportedly in the final testings for Xbox One. News broke that HBO will be launching a standalone streaming service in 2015. That sort of, I think, coincides with that,
Yeah.
because download the app,
Yeah.
pay like $10 a month.
Yeah, you don't gotta pay. You don't have to have cable for HBO anymore. HBO's kind of. I think HBO realized maybe we don't need you, cable. Maybe.
See, a lot of companies are starting to think that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's true.
Evolution.
It is.
Would you get that app? Would you get HBO for $10 a month?
I don't know. I really see the only reason why getting that, no offense, is to watch whatchamacallit, Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah.
I don't really like Game of Thrones. I know. Shoot me now. I don't like Game of Thrones.
I really thought you were going another direction with that. I really thought you were going to say.
Oh, I love watching
softcore.
softcore porn.
That's where I thought you were going with it. And I was like,
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
what is it? They promised HBO Go on the new gen consoles within the first year of release. This, like the end of this November, is the end of that first year. So, if they're going to fulfill that promise,
I don't think they are.
they're getting there.
They're not fulfilling it.
And nobody will care.
Yeah.
So get ready to catch up on all those seasons of Boardwalk Empire you didn't watch.
And
Alright, I'd watch that show.
It's really good. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's good.
Underrated.
I thought it was pretty popular.
The critics like it, but it doesn't get the viewership it deserves. It's one of those. Is that it?
That's it for the news.
Kind of light on news.
It is. It's a slow week. I
Don't
guess
worry,
I can
we're
say
coming to
another
November, so
one. I guess another one. Quick one. There's a Smash Bros. Nintendo Direct coming up like later this week.
Just Smash Bros?
Just about Smash Bros.
What do you think? What's
I
gonna,
can't wait.
They can't be adding characters, can they?
They could. Who knows?
maybe they should try something different, like the fighting games are
Wait.
doing nowadays, where they have like a third-party character or some kind of like random
It's like guest characters.
I bet I
theme
know.
character. Yeah.
There was also like leaked photos from like Amazon about like there's a board game mode in Smash Bros. And stuff, so they're probably going to talk about all the new modes. If I had to guess.
Anything to make the game more fun for couch multiplayer.
That's what it's best for.
Yeah.
That's what Nintendo is. Couch multiplayer.
True.
Nothing wrong with that.
Slowly evolving into online multiplayer. But yeah, that's the news. So I guess before we go into our random topics, I guess I could throw out a few random questions.
Okay.
What games are you playing?
Matt?
Final Fantasy VIII.
Old school.
Never played it. I know. Slap me now because I've never done it. It's pretty good. Different mechanics from your typical Final Fantasies, but I like it so far. I haven't gotten too far into it, so I don't know the story really well. I hear it's a lovey-gushy love story, Final Fantasy, but I think Squall's a cool character. I know the character pretty well. I'll see how it turns out.
Where you?
I just started playing Project Spark today with a friend of mine. We just jumped into a world and just started dicking around.
How much is it, by the way?
It's free.
Free?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's one of those things like
that.
you get a good amount of content and you can individually buy anything else.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of the free-to-play games kind of thing.
Okay.
But still, it's just
I'll
fun.
play that with you guys.
Yeah, me and Andrew were playing, and we just started messing around, and then by the end of, I think we played for a couple hours, by the end of it, we had a design for what we were doing, and it's fun. I can see this game sticking around for a while.
Another Minecraft filler.
Yeah, kind of
That's,
the same.
that's the thing. I was actually thinking about picking up Minecraft again,
Yeah.
so maybe I might do
Yeah.
that one and try instead.
It's overwhelming as hell, though.
More overwhelming than Minecraft.
I think so. But I don't have as much experience in Minecraft, so I could be wrong. But it's just when you're trying to create your character's actions, you have to go into this list called the brain list, and you hit when this happens, your character or the object does this, and it gets really overwhelming.
That's a question I gotta say. I mean, you gotta look at these things. Do you feel like in some ways, like Minecraft and the Project Spark being more advanced now, it's almost like video game designers are letting us be the video game designer? Does that make sense?
It's
like
just they're
making us
encouraging
do it?
creativity,
Yeah.
and that's the best things I've seen in video games come out of those kind.
And then the No Man's Sky,
No.
I'm sure, is just
Yeah.
another
I see.
example of it.
With that, I guess that's just another way of.
I feel like that's what they're trying to do. I feel like before you know it, and generations
indie
to come,
games
it's
are,
gonna
man.
be, it's just gonna be a way of showing some people, hey man, this is what you do for a living. You could do this with other games and create your own and things like
Well,
that.
I mean,
Sky's the limit.
a guy submitted an application to Bethesda, and his entire application was a mod he made for Skyrim. Like, that was his application to Bethesda, and the mod was ridiculous. I don't recall it, but it was a ridiculous mod. He was hired.
I'm guessing it's probably that guy who created his own story mission.
They embrace those.
Yeah.
I was actually the Bethesda and Minecraft and Skyrim with their mods. They embrace the mods.
Yeah.
They for the computer they really like make it easy.
Yeah, they want
like,
you to.
Like I know this isn't really like Skyrim status, but Doom, like it's a game that wants you to mod it.
Yeah.
Because I put my mods on there, like Brutal Doom, which is absolutely fun. I love Doom. Doom's one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, like it was easy. All you got to do is just download. I forget what it's called, Zimbodium or something like that, and then you go on the website and you literally just say click, boom, and then you just load it up on that, and boom, you got it.
Minecraft's the ultimate indie game.
So what are you playing?
Me, I am sort of on and off on Shadow of Mordor, and I'm playing Dust: The Elysium Trail. Free PS Plus game. Get it for free. It's really good. If you can get past the Neopet cat thing that talks to you.
Well, they had the fairy thing from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, but this.
Hey, listen!
Yeah, but this thing's like there, so it's a little annoying, but it's really fun. It's like a 2D RPG. It's fun. Cool. That's another one quick other random question. What's your game of the year so far before we get into the month of just craziness?
Yeah.
I thought the first quarter of this year wasn't as epic, so it's kind of hard for me to choose. I don't really have that many games.
I got the Tithe of 3.
I have to think about that.
Yeah. I've been light on games. Dark Souls 2's got to get a nod.
Yeah.
South Park.
South Park: The Stick
Stick
of
of
Truth.
Truth.
That would be a dark horse candidate for Game of the Year.
I think that's leading right now. I think. For
I
most
feel like
people.
I don't think it could be knocking away Dark Souls 2.
I think the majority of people.
I'm not saying it wasn't amazing. I love that game,
I don't know.
but I think it's hard to. It's just with the amount of content Dark Souls 2 gave, it's hard to put it next to Stick of
Well, that
Truth.
was the thing, though. Dark Souls 2, I hate going with the crowd, but they're so right sometimes. Dark Souls 2, if you want the best PvP aspect of Dark Souls, of any of the Souls games, play Dark Souls 2. If you want the PvE aspect, play Dark Souls 1. You want, apparently I hear story-wise, which you really are into the lore of that world, play Demon Souls.
Yeah.
And my Game of the Year so far, I don't really play that many games.
I have to think about
I
it.
played Dark Souls 2, I played Titanfall, I played Mario Kart, I played... I don't know. It's been a light year for gaming for me.
Honestly, I might even say Mario 3D World.
Super
That
Mario
was
3D
last
World?
year.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it came out in December.
Did it? Oh,
Yeah.
well. That still could technically count for this game of the year.
That's
'cause
good.
It was too late last year.
For me, it's a three-way tie right now between Dark Souls, South Park, and Shovel Knight. I'm probably leaning with Shovel Knight right now. That game is absolutely amazing. I love it.
If I'm just thinking about the game I had the most fun with, Shadow of Mordor. I had a ton of fun with it. So that's it.
I
for
know,
me.
shoot me now, but I might actually say between Dark Souls and Final Fantasy 13-3, Lightning's Return, which was one of my favorites.
You
That
might
was
get
this year?
you
Yeah.
might get shot for saying that.
January.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't Link Between Worlds this year?
Was it?
I don't remember.
No, it got Game of the Year last
Yeah.
year on a couple gaming sites.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Well, if we're wrong on any of our dates, please comment below and tell us. And
Play
tell us how
Shovel
much
Knight.
fools we are.
Play Shovel Knight.
Play Shadow of Mordor, play South Park.
Shovel Knight's cheap. Play it. It's only $15. Buy it. It's worth every penny. But I guess we'll go into the random topics now. It's a
Random
little late.
topics.
Usually we'll have one random topic, but it's the inaugural podcast, so we'll have three of them.
Inaugural.
And this time, we had made countless podcasts before this, but we finally have gotten an actual camera that works. So this one will actually get on here, so we'll actually spend
And-
the time to do this instead of the aimless time we did the last
Think,
three or
think,
four
think
times.
of us like Pokemon. The longer we do this, we're just going to get better and better at it. We're going
Yeah.
to get better equipment. We're going to get better effects. We're going to get good at video editing. So stick around and,
It'll be good.
have some patience, have some faith, have some love.
Go to our
That was very
Kickstarter.
corny.
That
I
will
like
soon
it.
be up.
You liked it.
If you want to give us the love, go to our Kickstarter. It's soon going to be up. But I guess we'll start with my random topic first. Now that Halo is coming out and talking about Mass Effect and Shadow of Mordor, what's a better gaming genre? Fantasy or sci-fi?
Better genre?
What do you like more? What's better? Like you
I'd
talking
say
about
I'd
for
probably
fantasy,
play
you got
more.
like Elder Scrolls.
I'd probably
You
say
got
fantasy.
With the exception of Elder Scrolls, I lean more towards sci-fi.
Not more fantasy.
Because I remember, I just Elder Scrolls is best ever to me. But beyond that, I just lean more towards sci-fi and everything. I like the sci-fi hits my imagination a little harder than fantasy does. I think, like the possibilities.
like the Mass Effects,
Yeah,
Halo,
especially Mass
I feel like
Metroid.
I feel like the sci-fi versus fantasy. The difference is sci-fi to me is like something that could be, and fantasy. Even though I'm not saying that there isn't some fantasy obviously drawn into some sci-fi, but fantasy, it's just like you just get a world that could never exist, and it's just like, wow, you gotta
Can
have
you
some
give me an
creativity
example
on
of
that.
sci-fi / fantasy?
Too human?
That wasn't going to be my first pick. But yeah, Too Human. I was going to say Star Wars.
I consider Star Wars more like, to me, fantasy is like medieval.
Don't think of it like that. Think
I
of
don't think
fantasy
of it.
as like
That's how I
magic.
think of it.
And,
I look at
and-
Final Fantasy.
and- yeah, Final Fantasy not bad. This kid likes Too Human more than Star Wars.
I know, that was just my first guess because I thought like swords and stuff.
Yeah,
and
don't-
You're talking about
in the
sword.
future.
You're talking
Don't
about
limit. It's not
sci-fi.
about the technology. It's about the story and the
You're forgetting
mythos
though.
of it.
With fantasy, you got two worlds too. Walt loves to.
Wait, hold on. I'm kind of getting lost. Are you guys saying what a sci-fi fantasy game, or are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
no, no.
Oh.
Like, what's better games? Like, well, I
Oh.
guess let me rephrase it. What's better, like futuristic space sci-fi,
Yeah.
or like fantasy, like orcs and like swords and stuff like that? Like past.
I typically go for sci-fi, but a good game or a good movie or a good
Yeah, it
book
can be-
can make anything amazing.
You gotta think like
A g-
Zelda's fantasy.
But like a genre doesn't sell.
It's not
a story.
saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a genre doesn't sell a story.
You can make a sci-fi game and it'd be shitty.
Oh, no, I know.
You
I'm
make
just
a
saying,
good
but
fantasy
what do you
game,
prefer? I guess. What do you prefer? Fantasy?
I'm kind of on the fence with Walt. If it's a good story and it makes sense. I mean, if I had to choose, if like you had a gun to my head and said choose one now, I would probably say I'd probably maybe pick fantasy because I think you see more fantasy-driven games than you do sci-fi. I mean, you got your blockbusters like Mass Effect,
Yeah.
Halo,
Metroid.
Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a very good fantasy game. I feel like the world is coming
Sci-fi.
to sci-fi. Excuse me. I feel like that's.
But then
If I had to make like a prediction of where we're going with stuff, I think augmentation will be
Fallout?
coming sooner than you think.
Take it easy,
I
it's
don't know,
all
that's
bleak.
sci-fi. I don't know, but
It's sci-fi,
then
yeah.
fantasy. There's Elder Scrolls, Zelda's, Shadow of Mordor.
Thinking too medieval, dude. You keep
God.
on thinking
That's
fantasy
what I'm doing.
medieval.
Yeah, Final Fantasies. I don't know. If you take out Elder Scrolls, because my
Like,
God.
like Devil May Cry would be a fantasy game.
Yeah, I would go. I'd still go sci-fi.
I just like sci-fi. I feel like is I can sit down and I can talk like sci-fi with people a little better than I can talk fantasy.
Yeah. Because I want to live in that future.
No.
All the tech.
No. It's just,
That's for me.
I want
particular-
giant reapers coming out.
No,
and
see,
screaming.
I don't want to live in Fallout.
No, minus.
Well, they kind of go back in history in ways. They go back
that's
lower
the-
in technology.
That's the future.
Minus the Reapers. I want to live in the Mass Effect world.
I mean, minus the civilization-ending threat. Okay.
Alright, fine. I'll be born like before Mass Effect 1. Then I won't have to deal with them. I'll probably be dead.
There you go. You'll probably
I
just.
don't know. We don't know the lifespan.
Well, if you're born the day before Mass Effect 1, you'll just live up and you'll probably die anyway.
Well, that's
Unless you're Garrus. Because Garrus doesn't die. And if you let Garrus die, you played the game wrong.
that's not canon.
It's not
It's not
canon.
canon. Everyone else can die.
Come on, you didn't do the Mass Effect 2 where you had everyone die, so Shepard missed that jump to the freaking Normandy?
No, because
That's
I
what
don't suck at games.
That's so hilarious. I mean, I had to watch that ending. It's like they show Joker. He's like, "Come on!" And he's like the best that I could be, and then he's like, "Oh no!" He's like, I would if I was Joker, I'd just be like, "You suck."
Now, I'm wondering, like, when you play Mass Effect 3, can you, like, load your character?
Yeah,
and
no, the game just ends.
The credit just rolls in Mass Effect 3? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, apparently you just can't do it though. You can't upload your
makes
guy.
sense. You can't play
it's
Ghost.
just like Mass. I when I first heard about Mass Effect 3, I asked my friend James, and I asked him. I said, "Well, what are they gonna do if you died?" He's like, "Oh, they're actually gonna have a whole new character for you to play and all this shit." I was like, "Really?" It's like,
Put
damn.
too much faith in BioWare.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're probably like, "This isn't what you were
Funny-
supposed to do."
Funny story about that. I actually, the first time I played Mass 2, I made it to the very end of the game and I restarted and played over. I did everyone's missions and everything, but I didn't know you could upgrade your ship. So when I went through the relay,
And
my
it's
team
like
got
half of them died.
screwed.
I know, I
See,
remember
and you
Thane.
went
We
through all
took
that
that
work.
blast.
Thane
Thanos
did that,
got
like-
impaled by like a pole. Jack got
I just had Jack die.
blown to bits.
Jack
Like,
and Grunt.
I just didn't have enough Paragon for me to persuade.
Jack and
Let's be
Brandon.
honest,
Brandon.
no one cares if Jack.
Yeah, she was the
I
other
saved
person.
everyone, but
But
Same.
yeah, I did wind up saving everyone. But it's funny how some of those games, or you did all that work, and all of a sudden, like all your teammates died. Like for me in Heavy Rain, I was doing so good throughout the whole game and keeping everyone alive.
Heavy Rain.
Everyone died except the freaking except the
Serial killer.
no he was alive. But because I saved the hooker that was like he was kind of working with,
Uh-huh.
she wound up killing him because she found out who he was. So everyone died in the game except her, the hooker.
That's funny.
Alright.
Hookers make that money. But alright, that's my random topic.
Okay.
What's yours?
You got yours yet or no?
No, I thought you had one.
I do.
You did.
I was just trying to make
There we
sure.
go.
I was just making sure. Okay, here's a question.
I hope it is.
Dude,
Not a statement.
Do you think women can star role as a main character in video games and be amazing?
Yes. Metroid, Tomb Raider,
Yeah, but you don't really talk as Samus.
Femshep.
You named one. You named Tomb Raider, which is a gimme.
Femshep, she won a bunch of awards for like the voice
Female,
acting stuff.
but that you can't count that one because that one you can make a female or a guy. That's not really that, and that's just voice acting. That's not the game. Like you were enticed into the game more.
Yes, they can do that. More
So-
the female gamer is on the rise. So yeah, that fits.
It's going to take longer than it should.
Well, let me ask
Yeah.
you this: if you see a game come out, what if you saw a game? I'm trying to think of a very good story-driven game you guys would like, or you know what, better yet, they had Elder Scrolls, but they didn't give you the choice of playing a male. You had
Yeah,
to
I
play
would play
female.
Yeah, day
Absolutely.
one still.
Yeah.
Still would.
But then again, Elder Scrolls isn't a character-driven
But
game.
would that turn you off?
No.
The only thing, okay, it turned me
Don't
off,
look at me.
but not out of sexism, out of the fact they took the choice away.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess.
Elder
I guess
Scrolls is all
Elder
about,
Scrolls would be
like,
a
You
poor
make
choice.
your
Think of
thing.
the majority of games, except like not like story-driven games, but most like RPGs. You have the option of either or.
But anytime like a game gives you customization like that, it's not a very character-driven game. It rarely
Mass
is.
Effect.
Are you going to sit here and say Shepard was a super strong character?
He was a good character.
Yeah,
He had
there's
some
no
charismatic
lines.
moments, but he didn't. The game wasn't carried on his shoulders. Like, the game was carried through its incredible gameplay and awesome story. But Shepard was kind of a blank slate.
It was about
He was-
characters, though.
he
'cause
was-
you
Well,
have-
that's what they kind of got to do. They usually when you have those characters that you make the decisions for, they kind of make a.
But then
monotone.
you've got more character-driven games, like you've got like Assassin's Creed or Batman, where like the main character's interactions and personality drives the game.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. But the thing is, it's hard to name games like that with female leads.
Oh yeah, because there's not that many right now,
Right.
but
Exactly,
we're going
so-
to.
Like,
It's gonna happen.
like Metroid. You can't sit here and say Metroid's a character.
Yeah, exactly.
I-
That's what they tried doing it with
Tomb
Project
Raider.
M, and let's
Yeah.
be. Yeah, see, that's
Other
the only
M.
one that
Other M.
anyone.
Yeah.
Other M. That's the only one anyone's saying. And the other Tomb Raiders were never like. No one ever looked at Lara Croft and was like, "Oh, I really think her character is cool." No, you liked her because you thought she was sexy, and you wanted to do the little nude mod where you made her run around naked. That's what you liked her
triangle
for.
move.
No.
She did not. No, that is why people played that game. I
No, it's
honestly.
not.
Yes, it is. They played Tomb Raider for the gameplay, but for Lara Croft as a character, I feel like they didn't really make a good Lara Croft until this new one that just came
Laura
out.
Croft's one of the most popular video game characters of all time.
Yeah, well, so
But
is
it's
Mario.
not-
He's not exactly fleshed out.
But that's not. I
No,
think
but
when she came
to
out, they
ju-
never had like
to-
a story driven
I know, but
about
to
her.
jump to the conclusion that people are just playing it because it's sexy. That's
well,
weird. I don't think
Also,
you should think
okay,
that
fine.
about
You
video
can think it's weird, but
It
I'm
is.
trying to tell you right now that a lot of people are like, Lara Croft is sexy. Oh, yeah, I want to play as a hot girl in short shorts who beats people's asses because there are people who get turned on by
Hey,
girls that
Big
dual-wield
female
weapons.
character-driven game coming out this Friday.
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta 2. I'm picking it up day one. Stay tuned for my review. It's gonna be good.
But would you rate her as one of your favorite characters in a video game?
Yeah, I know.
She's kind of a badass.
Okay, yes.
There's another
She
one.
is.
Heavenly
She's-
Sword.
She says flock off, Featherface.
Okay, what is that? When has that ever made any other sequels?
Link kind of looks like a girl.
No.
I guess I don't. I'm trying to not come off as sexist. I'm just trying to say that
Is
it
the
does.
Wolverine
It does
story.
feel. It
Yes.
does feel like when you see a game, and you see like female role, it's not as enticing as if you
Let me-
see like a cool a male role.
Let me tell you what's gonna happen.
And I do feel like it affects my judgment. So I'm
This-
not saying. I will say overall, if that game is good enough, I will play regardless of female or male. I love Lightning. Lightning is one of my favorite characters of all time. She is awesome. But even then, she still was, even though she is technically the main character, she still had a side role character as a male. That was carrying it with her. In fact, if you got the Japanese version of Final Fantasy on the disc cover, they had Snow on it instead of Lightning because they were trying to have two, male and female. It was only until they found out how popular her popularity got until they finally said, okay, well, we effed up really bad by making another male and female main character in Final Fantasy 13-2, where they had Noel and Sarah. And then they finally said, okay, Lightning's obviously the fan favorite. Why the hell did we not have her be the main one?
So.
Well, it went with the story, but whatever. Yeah,
she's
But
It's
I mean,
ready. All that's gonna happen is like whenever those first female superhero movies, female-driven superhero movies go, it'll just expand from there.
I mean, how many Assassin's Creed games have there been? Like off the top, do you know? It's 1, 2, Brotherhood,
Liberation was
Revelations.
female.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, Revelations, Brotherhood,
And this
Black Flag,
new one too.
Unity Rogue.
Is that one
and
going to be like you
Liberation.
customize your own?
I don't know.
No, you get like your own crew of assassins, like you recruited in Brotherhood.
Oh, I
But
thought
like-
you were like supposed to. Thought it was all about co-op.
Yeah, it is. I think.
Oh, okay.
I
I don't really know.
But I think is that 10 that I counted? That's a lot of games. And the only one that had a female lead was the one on PS Vita or
yeah,
PSP.
PSP.
Like I said, it'll happen. It's expanding now. But once more like good games and movies come out with female roles, it's gonna start blowing up. It'll happen. We're ready for it. We're all ready.
By the way, it's a little off topic. There's an anime show that they're making into a live action movie, and they're actually going to say Scarlett Jo might
Ghost
play
in
her.
the Shell?
Yeah,
I didn't know the name before I heard that Scarlett Johansson was casted.
yeah, it's a pretty
See?
famous anime.
Black
I haven't
Widow
watched
movie.
it, though.
Yeah,
Do a Black Widow movie.
Yeah, Black Widow should
Do a Black Widow standalone movie. They're gonna make. I heard that they're making like a Spider-Man standalone movie, female driven, in the Spider-Man universe. I'll see it.
Black Cat?
No, it's like Spider-Woman maybe. Spider.
You know, out
It's
of
like
all the
Spider-Man.
superhero girls
Could
though
be.
that they've made a movie besides Wonder Woman, the next best in line, I'm not shocked that they will try to go with was Catwoman one. Because I'd say she's probably
too
the
much
next.
sass.
Catwoman's
Hey.
just, I'm gonna say it.
Michelle Pfeiffer was a good Catwoman.
I'm gonna say it. Catwoman's a dumb character. All around. In
You're
every
saying that
iteration.
about Batman's biggest love interest?
In every iteration, Catwoman is dumb. And she's nail-bitingly annoying. And she's just difficult to even read or watch.
She's the seductive cat.
She's not seductive. She just purrs. There's a difference.
Well, there's a guy that runs around like a bat, so, you know.
Yeah.
A girl running around as a cat and being a thief and being conniving isn't really
Sounds like she's copying
something.
Batman.
Well, they both got animal problems.
Yeah.
She's just so bad. You don't see Batman going like a fucking bat every 3 seconds.
She doesn't meow that much.
Once is too many. Like, one meow is
Well,
I can
a
see
meow is something someone can say and like laugh about, but do you ever hear anyone randomly coming up and making bat noises? Can you even make a bat noise?
Or the next time she says, perfect.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say that.
She's
That could be the catchphrase in the
Dumb.
trailer. She turned around to be like, "This
There
is."
are
I
some-
don't think Catwoman's a bad
There are some
character.
really cool female characters in comic books. Catwoman is not one of them.
Leader of one of the Justice Leagues, isn't she? One of the leaders of like those
For
useless
like
Justice
10
Leagues.
minutes. Yeah, that happened, and then
Honestly, I'd rather have her being as big as she is than Harley Quinn blowing up like she is.
I can take Harley Quinn way more than I can take.
I
Catwoman.
can't.
Because
I can't stand Harley
she's
Quinn.
crazy, so it's okay for her to do anything.
Oh,
She's wild card.
I'm sure the female woman who's a prostitute at the age of 11 and is a
Is that
thief.
canon?
Yeah.
Oh, Catwoman.
Catwoman's
I know about Harley Quinn. Yeah.
No.
She was like a child and all that.
yeah, so you know, I'm sure she's got a few screws loose. They're running around in costumes, they got a few screws loose,
Yeah.
and they're fighting jokers.
They're all.
They're all freaking crazy.
All right.
Yeah, World War.
One just means well.
Before we single-handedly cancel all of Catwoman's comic books, let's go to the
Move on
next
to the
topic.
final random topic.
My topic. It's pretty easy. What is the best game that you didn't like?
Stop looking at me. You already know. I have a few of them.
GTA.
Grand Theft Auto
Batman.
4, GTA 5. I'm just done with GTAs. They're trying to go crazy. Like, they're trying, not saying Saints Row level crazy, but they're trying to go Saints Row 2 level crazy. That's not GTA to me. And,
They're really not.
Well,
The
why
only
did you
thing
like
I
GTA
ever
4?
saw,
That was a series
the
of
only
games.
thing I
Yeah,
really
but
saw
Nico
was the
stinks.
thing where Trevor goes on like a freaking rampage. That's it.
I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
And like whenever they trip out and like do fight random, I think like Mike would trip out on acid or some shit.
Mike
and,
fought
like, one of his-
clowns, Trevor
yeah.
fought aliens, and like
And,
Franklin didn't even hit him. Like he hit him, he's like, shit's weak.
Yeah,
And Batman Arkham City.
Yeah, that.
we won't go into that.
Yeah, I don't even open up that can of worms about why he doesn't like hitting RB.
Just not into it. But yeah, those are
Yes,
just
I
so.
want to say he doesn't like Arkham City because you have to glide like Batman to get around. But yeah, he likes the web swinging in Spider-Man.
That's way faster.
Actually, I don't
Way
even think
cool.
it is. I feel like when
But
you have
Matt,
that boost in Arkham City,
you're forgetting
he's
this.
faster than Spider-Man.
I didn't-
Yeah, you could just
You're
freaking
forgetting
hook shot
though.
everywhere.
I didn't play the new Spider. The last Spider-Man
Okay,
game I
but
played
you
was
played old
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Mans.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, other than that, that's just gonna frustrate me some more. I feel like you're
Is
purposely
that it?
trying not to like that movie or that game.
I didn't play Skyward Sword. I didn't-
Can't be a game you didn't play. It has to be a game you tried and didn't like.
Oh.
I really can't think of any. I know that's out there. I'm just not thinking about it. Oh, I know. Even though I beat it, as ironic as it is, even though I beat it, Far Cry 3.
Oh, really?
I did not like Far Cry. I don't like your post-apocalyptic games.
It's not
Far
post-Far
Cry 3
That's
is not
post-apocalyptic.
No, it's not.
You just crash on an island.
Thinking of Fallout
Or
3.
Fallout. Why did I say Far Cry? Fallout. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Fallout. Fallout.
Fallout 3.
I did not like Fallout 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't even try New Vegas. Corey loved it though.
New Vegas was good.
I mean, I liked the plasma gun, but I felt like the shooting was just like, okay, if you want to fight someone, you got to freeze time practically. If you really want to kick their ass and just
Have to.
headshot them 100 times. Okay, that's like saying you don't have to BFG the entire room in Doom, but it's probably smart to do it.
Oh, I'm sure this list is going to be long for Walt.
It's
Yeah.
not that long.
He's the PS hater.
But that's just it. I didn't play any of them,
Yeah.
so I can't put them on
He's
the
gotta,
list.
like,
You
say
tried
Halo.
Uncharted.
Yeah, it has to be not a serious effort, though. It has
I
to
think
be
honestly, if you had your chance of being able to play Uncharted, you would like it and play it.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
See,
Anyway,
you're gonna make me angry
He's
too.
getting, this guy's getting salty. He's wanting to check
What-
this guy's sodium levels.
what's the game? I think. I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna shoot myself.
Halos?
You're allergic to good
Halos?
games.
That'd be a good pick. Halo. I didn't really care for Halo. But that's not my pick.
I can see the fan mail just piling in. Haters.
Good. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
We'll be infamous.
Infamous?
I said we'll be infamous.
Boo.
Great game. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
We were just talking about PlayStation games I didn't play.
I
said
know, but I
infamous.
was trying to do the J. Jonah Jameson. He doesn't want to be famous. I'll make him infamous.
You guys want to be famous? I'll make him infamous. Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
go on.
What's your game?
My game.
Or games?
And I had it, and now I lost it. Give me a second. I didn't like the Halos, though. We can start there. I'm not a Halo man. Didn't care for it. Don't be mad at me.
I'm not.
I'm furious at
I'm
you.
not mad.
You just said you didn't like Uncharted. That's like saying
Sorry, I
you
don't like Indiana Jones.
Are you saying you didn't like the Indiana Jones movies
The
either?
first one was good.
Think of your game.
The second one was better.
Temple of Doom was better.
Temple
than-
of Doom was amazing. Besides the ending part where it got a
Everyone
little
is
crazy.
entitled to their opinions, and yours are wrong.
Dude, are you freaking
I like
kidding
all
me?
the Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, the new one sucked.
You like the newest one?
It was alright.
You don't get to question my
No, it's
judgment.
not-
I did
Oh,
like how he got in the fridge and when
Shia LaBeouf was swinging through the jungle.
No, I was just saying.
and caught a jeep.
It was a good action movie.
I bet you guys didn't see this though. Whenever if you rewatch it, you probably catch it now. But the guy that played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 was in the first Indiana
Alfred
Jones.
Molina.
Yeah, I didn't think that actor was that big enough to have a name. I thought he was
You
just
didn't
the
think he
guy
had
that
a
played
name?
Doc Ock.
You didn't think he had a name?
He's just the guy that played Doc Ock.
He was in
He's
the Da Vinci.
typecasted.
He was in the Da Vinci Code also.
I didn't see that movie. And I own it. You know, that's the funny thing.
But okay, I got my game. Dark Souls 2.
I love that game.
Can we shut this camera off? I feel like there's going to be violence in here.
Not yet.
You didn't like it?
No.
You liked the first one.
Yep, I love the first one.
See, I think I know why. Because you were
Because
just
of
in
bosses.
a mood for a hard game when Dark Souls.
But that's
1
just
was
it.
out.
I didn't think Dark Souls 2 was that hard.
It wasn't.
I played the game past the Rotten?
The Rotten.
Yeah, I played all the way up to the Rotten.
That's kind of hard to really say because you could fight him anytime.
I beat Iron King. I beat the old Iron King, then I fought the Rotten.
Okay.
Not in that order.
Did you
so those
fight
are-
the Sin? The Sin?
Lost Sinner?
Lost Sinner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are like the big
You
souls.
practically fought like all
Yeah.
the big souls.
Yeah, I got like those guys, and it just felt not as fun to me.
You
I'm
just
sorry.
missed out Drain Lake Castle. That's like the coolest place that I went to.
I don't feel like one cool place could have like saved it for me because like I was going. It's like Dark Souls 1. It's like you start off in the Firelink Shrine. You go to the Undead Burg. From the Undead Burg, you can go into either the Darkroot Garden, or you can go to the Depths, Blight Town, and then from there, you usually end up in Anowando. And all this place, it feels really connected. It feels like you're in one world, traveling to different sections of it. But Dark Souls 2 felt so separate in everything. Like, you go from Earthen Peak to the Iron Keep. And I did not feel like I was in the same place anymore. I felt like I had just stepped into a teleporter and went to a different dimension.
Everything's connected to the main shrine and fire.
See?
And,
you know, it's so funny how some people are so opposite, because I personally thought Dark Souls 1 weakest thing was I thought majority of the places sucked. I thought the crypts sucked. I thought, don't even get me started on Blighttown, and not just because it looked like crap. The frame rate was one of the reasons.
The frame rate's only I didn't like Blighttown. Otherwise, I like Blighttown.
But
yeah, Dark Souls 2 was amazing.
Dark Souls 2, see, me, Dark Souls 1, iconic bosses, loved the boss fighting, I hated that they didn't I hated the whole respawn as bonfire aesthetic thing. I hated that you killed guys and they would eventually be away in 2. I wish they would have kept it like 1, but anyways, that's not my point. But yeah, 2, the one thing I liked is I actually enjoyed running around trying to kill everything and seeing all the new areas. There was like maybe 1 or 2 places I didn't like, but all in all, I thought landscape-wise, I thought Dark Souls 2 was.
But I also noticed like a lot of the textures seem blurry and not that good in the game, especially in the Forest of the Fallen Giants, the first area. Mm-hmm. Like I remember the second bonfire with the one with the merchant in it, the lady. Mm-hmm. You climb down the ladder and you got the fire lizards down at that bottom. I looked in and I could literally see the copy and paste of the texture on the ground. Like, I mean, it was unmistakable squares of like copy and paste. And then like I saw that and I didn't like the boss fights that I did. All of them were pretty easy.
Yeah, they were. That was the biggest disappointment.
I mean, my whole thing I was saying about the easy boss fights. You ever think maybe they're easy because you're just good at Dark Souls? No.
They did that. They had simple boss mechanics. I'm not saying I didn't die to some of them. I did die. It took me like maybe 2 or 3 chances because that's what Dark Souls is, trial and effort.
Imagine if Dark Souls 2 was your first Dark Souls game you ever played. You would get killed by that.
Here's how I know Dark Souls 1 is still hard, because I went to New Game Plus in Dark Souls 1, and I died to Quelaag like 8 times. When I don't even remember fighting Quelaag in my first playthrough because it was so easy. The game got really progressively harder, and then in Dark Souls 2, their only way of making it harder was put more than one of them in there.
See, there was another thing is why I was frustrated with it, is I fought the last boss. Yeah, I will admit, I did. I guess you could kind of say I cheated a little bit because I learned how I found out about you can kill like the 2 generals for the girl forget her name, Nasandra. You can go and fight 2 people that will be with her in the game in the last boss fight if you don't kill them, but you can go to them prematurely and she won't be there, and you fight those 2 and kill them, and then she's there by herself.
The Throne Defenders.
Yeah, so you could fight those 2 before that, and I guess that kind of made. But all in all, her mechanics, Gwyn, in first Dark Souls, I'm not going to sit here and say he was the hardest boss in the game, but he said, listen, you're not going to do magic. You're not going to go ahead and block. You're going to have to nut the F up, and you're going to have to parry. Because you're not going to beat me if you don't.
That's not true. I mean, pros.
Well, okay, unless you could dodge like a pro. I had to say, okay, you know what, screw it, I'm going to have to parry you. Yeah. And that's how you fight her. She was just like, okay, give me some range, I'll do my laser beam thing.
That basically just says,
and you can just come kill me. I'm going to throw it. She cursed me a lot, but I beat her 1 try.
Did you play Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus? Because you were saying, obviously, Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus is really hard.
Well, the thing Dark Souls 2 did is they said they want to make it easier for casual gamers to play. They want to bring in more people, but they made options for people to like, bonfires. Don't die at all, and you get this badass ring. Or don't use any bonfires as a way of like getting, other than teleporting, don't use it to rest. You can't, I don't even think you could even do that. I think you had to run everywhere. But don't use a bonfire at all to rest. or refill, and you had to go through the entire game
Yeah.
without doing that.
That's easy. I do that all the time.
Yeah, so there are ways to make the game, and I heard New Game Plus is a
Yeah,
lot
it's
harder
hard.
than it
It's
was
really
the
hard.
first one.
But it just, that's my 2 cents on Dark Souls 2. I didn't care for it as much. I saw why people liked it, but for me, Dark Souls 1 was all about, I really liked the detailed environments, and because it was smaller, I thought the environments were more detailed. And when a bigger game gets, a lot of times the less detail you're going to see. It's just how it goes. And Dark Souls 2 was way bigger than Dark Souls 1. But the bosses I thought were way better. I was much better, easier to follow for me, the story in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah. I didn't even really
limited
pay
story as
attention
it
to.
was. But the Dark Souls 2, the story was so vague, it actually told you didn't know why you were doing what you were doing.
Yeah, you had to.
And I guess that
go
works
on.
for some people, but
I was like I watched a guy like kind of talk about the game and like go through the game, and he told me about it. I kind of understand the story. It was a lot of it, to believe it or not, pertains to what happened in 1.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that, like a lot of the souls they say are like all in like the bosses you
yeah,
fight.
I've heard of that. I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
so
But
it's just kind of
that's
like
my 2
that.
cents on it.
I don't even know what my boss. I don't even know really what my and I might just be stupid. I don't even know what my guy became after he.
Oh yeah,
After
he
he
just
beat
sits
her.
in a throne,
Yeah, he beats in a
closes,
throne.
and
That new king.
They say I guess you become like the ruler of the
king,
new
yeah.
place.
Of
Yeah,
Drangleic.
like you're new Vandrick or whatever. But whatever. Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
I wasn't too pleased with the bosses in that game. Just wasn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it for the Next Level podcast. Check up every Monday night. Get a new podcast. Keep checking the blog. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. We'll put all the links in the YouTube video below. And yeah, soon we'll all be putting up our top 25 games. I'm putting up my revised top 25 games because I did one a while ago. So yeah, we have a Kickstarter coming up. If you donate anything, that's awesome. I'll give you a shout out, even if it's like 50 cents. If it's $20 or more, I'll give you a video shout out, personalized video shout out.
That's it. That's good.
It's good.
From this guy Nick Cato, the Dream, Cato Strophic. Hit him up on PSN or Xbox One.
He's your home skillet fried biscuit.
Don't know about that. Yeah, guys, keep it locked on here and live through games and keep gaming, man.
And please leave some comments. Any ideas, anything you guys want us to do, any games that you guys would like us to look at or talk about, let us know.
Any
guys,
questions?
yeah. Anything you guys want to know or anything you want to help us out to do to improve ourselves in a gaming world or anything, please let us know.
And tune in next time.
Keep gaming.